So what we have here is the SH4J Gen 2 624 by 50. This is the Arken. So what I'm going to attempt to do, if I can, is the zero stop on this is actually a very nice zero stop feature. Has a pin right here on top that goes down, that bottoms out on a very nice piece of metal, a piece of steel, and then it has a pin right here in front that kind of locks everything, and then it just perfectly machined so it stops there. So I've got this loose, but as anyone that watches my videos likes or knows, I like to dial this down, or at least be able to dial it down, at least my gun number. I like the idea of at least dialing it down, you know, a couple tenths of a mil, just for the fact that temperature variation or anything like that. If you're 100 yards, you got a little bit of difference in at your 100 yards, and let's say it's a mil too high or a tenth of a mil too high, and you just need to dial in that one click. I don't want to have to re-zero everything and take everything apart and just dial it down. Well, unfortunately, this doesn't allow you to do that. If we're using our gun number on this is my 308, I believe it is 1.8. What we can do is we can dial down 1.8 mils, and then what that does is that allows us to use our reticle as essentially like a BDC or a holdover. So if you're shooting 500 yards, dial down 1.8 with this 308, this specific rifle, I can hold 5 mils, and that's exactly where my gun's gonna hit. However, the way this is currently set up, I can't do that. So let's take a look at it. Let's get nice and close like. Let me raise this a little bit so we can see that this is a very nicely machined piece of metal, and it has this bar right here that stops. So what I need to do is get an Allen wrench to be able to move this, and then I want to be able to turn this entire piece. That way when I set my zero stop, I can dial down 2 mils. Now I could dial at 1.8, but again, I want a little bit of variation, so I like to do 2. So I need to set this entire piece. I need to turn it to the left so that this bar is way over here, so I can dial it down. So we're gonna try to do that. So I ended up using a .035 Allen wrench, if you can see that. So it's .035. What I had to do is I went on Amazon and I ordered a entire kit. So it was like $10. One of these, and it has, on this side it goes all the way to 0.7, and then on the other side all the way down to 0.028, and 0.035 is the one you need in case you want to do this. So it is a little bit tough. I recommend using this side. I definitely bent this, and then I think they put some kind of glue or red Loctite something on here, so I had to use a flathead. Just very gently put it in between here and pry it up a little bit, and then it's a machine very nice. So I push down on here, get this back on, and it's not gonna move, and I don't have the Allen set screws in there yet. But so now what I did is I just used the turret and I turned this so it would turn the inside until it lined up. So now it is, if you can see it, you're at an angle, so it looks like it's off. But if we get right in front of it, it is perfectly on 6, which is going to be 2 mils negative of my zero stop. So now I'm just going to put these little screws back in. And let's see if I can even show you what these look like. I mean, these things are ridiculously tiny, so make sure you use some tape or something so you don't lose them. Now, I'm not going to screw it in all the way first because I want to push down on all of this. And make sure that everything's as tight as it can be and right where it needs to be. We're going to run everything on here. Make sure that is perfectly on 0, and it is. Adjustment. And then that way, I can get you back here. That way you can see. We are perfectly lined up. All right, so there we go. So now I can set it to 0. And then if I want to dial down, and it just stops. Perfect. Well, I hope that that was helpful for someone. Again, this is the Arken, the SH4J Gen 2. That's because this one has the Japanese glass, and it's the 6-24 by 50. All the other ones that I looked at had the same type of setup. So if it is something where you're wanting to dial down below your 0, that's how you do it very easily. And I get no movement, and looks like works perfect. So once I get some range time with this, we'll do a review on it and see how it goes, see how we like it.